What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Rosser, and today we're diving into a very interesting update from one of the OG Avengers. Jeremy Renner, in a recent interview, has revealed that the reason why we will not be getting Season 2 of the Hawkeye series is because of corporate greed. And we have a video that will show you of the interview where you can kind of see the frustration on Jeremy's face as he talks about the reason we won't be seeing more of that storyline. And realistically, this also ties into the extremely important debate about what is going on around Marvel projects right now, as we have seen and heard several different projects, like now Hawkeye Season 2, as well as the Monsterverse, all of the fun Midnight Suns and Blade movie, Eternals, and several other projects that have been getting the axe, or at least being put on pause until who knows when. So we'll jump into what Jeremy Renner had to say specifically, and then we'll talk about the implications of this for the future of the MCU in today's video.
Asked me to do a season 2, and they offered me half the money. I'm like, wow, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money. And so 8 months of my time, essentially, and to do it for half the amount. I'm like, I'm sorry. Why? Did you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? Maybe that's why you want to pay me half of what I made on the first season? And this is not Marvel, mind you. This is like this Disney, not even really Disney. It's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. I told them to go fly a kite. I mean, just at the insult offer. And we didn't see eye to eye on that. And sadly, and I still love the character. I still love to do it. But I had to defend myself. I didn't ask for any more money, mind you, right? It just paid me what I made the first season. So it's a little disheartening that didn't happen, but that's fine. I'm happy to let that go because my body's probably thanking me, time and time again that I'm not doing it right now. But we'll see.
So clear as day, we heard it there first, we will not be getting a Hawkeye Season 2, and I know for a fact this is a storyline that several of you were very excited about, not only because Jeremy Renner is an OG Avenger and heavily loved by fans, but also because of the Kate Bishop storyline, how that directly tied into Kingpin and now the Daredevil storyline. In fact, we've even seen a character from the Hawkeye series show up in Daredevil Born Again Season 1. And we're really excited as fans for the connection of these MCU shows finally. However, it seems like because of some roadblocks and some money problems, we're not going to be able to see that completely come into fruition, at least not for now. And as he clearly states in the interview, he would love to come back, but he's going to have to put in 8 months of hard work for half of what he did for the Season 1. And I do like what he said there about how he wasn't looking for more money, he just wanted what he was paid for Season 1. And this does show some self-value, and I don't disagree with that. I think that as a character who's been around since the early days of the MCU, you would definitely think he warranted a little bit of respect from the studio, and this is always tough to see. But what are the implications about this news moving forward for not only the character, but for the MCU? There was a lot of speculation and even expectation that Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye could play a pivotal role on either the West Coast Avengers or maybe even the Young Avengers, and with Kate Bishop being directly linked to the Young Avengers after the Marvel's post-credit scene where Miss Marvel went after Kate Bishop and was playing a little bit of that Nick Fury role, you would almost expect Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye to also be involved in Kate Bishop going off and joining a team, whether that was from a long-distance mentor role or he went with her and ultimately helped set up the Young Avengers. This is something that a large majority of MCU fans would be very happy with happening in the background, as Hawkeye is a fan favorite, and this is a character that potentially could have survived the reboot. But now that there are some clear and obvious disagreements between the studio and the actor, there's a possibility and a likelihood that we might not see Hawkeye survive the reboot. Now, let me explain a little bit. Over the last several months, we've heard multiple projects being put on hold. Blade, for example, was one of them, although recently we've heard that might not even be happening at all. The Eternals is an example of this, and several other Disney Plus projects and even movies have been pushed back until post-Doomsday and Secret Wars. The reason for this, as we are all expecting, and as clearly makes sense, we are expecting a massive MCU overhaul and reboot where they will be starting over and have the ability to recast some characters who we've lost along the way in the Infinity and Multiverse saga, as we're starting to have Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Mutant storyline, and now the Avengers back on the shelf as available new characters in an entirely new universe, all along continuing to pay homage to the past and those fallen soldiers like our Tony Stark, our Steve Rogers, and the actors that played them. This is an amazing opportunity for the MCU, but that does mean that somewhere in here they're going to have to draw a line as to which characters are going to make it through the reboot. For example, everybody is expecting Tom Holland's Spider-Man to make it into the new MCU. Some people, prior to today, would have expected potentially Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye to be one of the characters that made it because of his potentially important role with the Young Avengers, with Kate Bishop, with Hawkeye Season 2. But now that we're openly hearing about disagreements between Jeremy Renner and the studio about whether or not there will even be a Hawkeye Season 2, this could also potentially put question marks around his returning for anything moving forward. Now, I don't think Jeremy Renner's going to miss out on an opportunity to join and be involved in Doomsday and Secret Wars. If that opportunity comes, we haven't received an official confirmation in the form of a chair yet. Yes, I'm referencing the chair teaser where we received a lot of the characters, but we know from the mouth of Kevin Feige and others that we will be expecting to get a lot more characters involved in Doomsday and then subsequently in Secret Wars. Definitely would assume that Jeremy Renner would be one of those names. He's an OG Avenger, and there aren't a lot of OG Avengers from Earth 616 left. Thor is one of them that comes to mind, and of course Hulk. We're expecting to see some very big things from Hulk. But Jeremy Renner being able to join Doomsday and Secret Wars is an expectation that all of us are having. So you expect to see him there, but does that put him on the chopping block? Now, what exactly does that mean? We've already heard and expect from multiple different actors like Anthony Mackie, the Russos, and many others involved in the creation of Doomsday and Secret Wars that nothing is off the table. Now, that's in regards to people who might show up in this movie, but also in regards to people who might die in this movie. Over the last several days, we've heard a lot of different speculatory evidence saying that we should expect Avengers Doomsday to end the exact same way Avengers Infinity War ended, and that is with the Avengers, or whichever teams, losing. We're hearing overall that the way Doomsday is headed is to a massive war over the TVA, over Loki, that Doom is not happy with what Kang and the TVA has been doing, and he's headed over there to figure it out for himself, potentially take Loki's power or take over the TVA and use it to ultimately get rid of the multiverse and create Battleworld. That's a soft idea of what we're expecting Doomsday to be. Doom leading to the TVA. We'll get an introduction to the X-Men, the Avengers, maybe a small moment where the two of them are going at it, but ultimately all roads lead to the TVA. That is what has been being hinted at us for a very long time. Now, the questions around which characters will survive are just growing every day as we're hearing more and more rumors about how badly the Avengers and all the teams surrounding them, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, are going to lose to Doom. And we should be expecting casualties. Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye might be one of those casualties that we might start needing to expect, considering that his relationship with the studio right now is not at an all-time high. Now, since we're at the end of the video, I'll give you my opinion on the matter. I personally love Jeremy Renner. I love his portrayal of Hawkeye, and I would love to see him continue in the MCU, but I definitely understand what he's saying in this video, where he's talking about how he needed to stand up for himself to at least even earn what he earned on Hawkeye Season 1. Now, overall, I think we will be seeing him in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, but potentially he could have a falling off being, a sacrifice or a death, as his character might now be one of the characters that we could see recast in the future new MCU reboot if the two of them aren't playing nice anymore. But let me know what you guys think about his interview, these details, and the thoughts of this character moving forward in the comment section down below. If you'd love to stay up to date on all things MCU, be sure to subscribe. We're getting new Doomsday leaks daily, and tons of fun conversations happening right here on The Cosmic Wonder.